Rangers together, samurai forever. Dearly beloved, we are gathered here for one thing, to do a review of Power Rangers Samurai Episode 6, There Goes the Bride. Yeah, I wasn't planning on doing another Samurai review until episodes 10 and 11, because supposedly those are the episodes that are the real premiere of Samurai, where we learn the origins and whatever. But you know what, I was like, I watched it this morning instead of, going to church. So, might as well do the review. Got nothing else really going on today, or whatever. Although, it'll probably take me a while before I put it online anyway, but, anyway. So, the plot of the episode was that the villainous Dayu was kidnapping brides on their wedding day and using their sorrow and tears to flood the Sanzu River. She was also using their sorrow to create an evil wedding dress for herself. So evil! But yeah, I really enjoyed this episode, actually. It was easily the best episode of Samurai so far. I mean, to be honest, Samurai has been very mediocre so far. I mean, it's not a bad season, but it's not very impressive either. I don't know. But today, I really enjoyed it a lot. So, thank goodness. It just gives me hope that Samurai may actually get better. So the episode opened up with the Rangers staging a wedding in an attempt to trick the villains. And it had Mimi and JJ, as husband and bride, well, fiancés. Anyway, and Mimi did look really good in her wedding dress, actually. She was very beautiful. The whole scene, it played on humor of, I'm crying, even though it was a fake wedding. And yeah, the only reason that the scene was actually enjoyable for me is because of Mikey. Because his actor is really good, and he actually held that whole scene together with his facial expressions and stuff. Otherwise, it just would have been, So, yeah, if the writers just focus on Mikey for everything through the rest of the season, Samurai would be really good, no lie. And seriously, on the acting again, I know, but seriously, the acting should not be this bad. It just shouldn't. Even from Mentor, seriously though, his name is Mentor, that's just ridiculous. But from Mentor, this guy, he played Grum on SVD, and every line that came out of Grum's mouth was delivered perfectly, really. But he's just overacting like a motherfucker in Samurai. It just comes out horrible. I just don't understand. Thank God for Mikey. Just thank God. Moving on. So yeah, the Rangers' scheme actually failed. The villains ended up kidnapping another bride. So the Rangers had to go back and regroup at their headquarters, mansion, whatever it is. Master Zandrid and Octoroo have a scene discussing Dayu and her motives for doing what she's doing. And then Octoroo says, I was looking at a gap yesterday and I saw him on the other side. Him. And I was like, oh Lord, now they're copying Powerpuff Girl villains. But no, they actually meant the new villain that showed up for 2 seconds in the last episode, Decker. I'm actually kind of interested on this character and what they're going to do with him. And he's played by the actor that played Cole in Wild Force. So, I don't know, there's that. So I'm interested to see what they do with this cursed warrior. Back to the Rangers. So they managed to have every other wedding that was going to take place today canceled, leaving only one remaining so that the villains would have no other choice but to go there if they want to kidnap some bride. And Mimi is just all excited about wearing a wedding dress again. Ooh. And Eminem comes out and says that, oh, every girl wants to wear a wedding gown. The line is not that bad, but it does come off as a teensy bit sexist. Just a teensy bit. So the Rangers head on down to the only wedding that's happening in town today. And just, you guys, tell me how this makes sense. Just tell me. Hi, bride and groom. You don't know me, but I'm going to need you to go ahead and hide in that closet. I can't explain to you why, but I'm just going to need you to go ahead and do it. Don't worry, it won't be for long, and don't make a sound. Okay. Moving on. So once again, JJ and Mimi pretend to be the bride and groom and replace the real ones, and they walk down the aisle. How does nobody in the audience notice that is not the real bride and groom? Not even the minister. How does everybody there is a bunch of wedding crashers. That's how I'm going to write out. Everybody is wedding crashers. Moving on. So the villains show up, they kidnap Mimi as planned, and And while they're running away, they run past Bulk and Spike. Alright, let me just get this out of the way right now. I do not like them on the show. At all. But Bulk and Spike, they didn't offend me in this episode today, although Spike was really trying to. They didn't. And Bulk was actually pretty funny in this episode. Especially like the line when Mimi went running past them, it's like, sure is a lot of weddings today. I laughed like crazy when he said that, so kudos. So Mimi is taken to Dayu, who instantly recognizes who she is. So the plan is blown. Dayu had apparently been watching them. And she knew exactly what they were scheming, and she even managed to kidnap the real bride. And then Dayu forces Mimi to tell the Rangers go to this warehouse, which is an obvious trap. The Rangers get there, and kaboom goes the dynamite. Because they put dynamite in the building. So the Rangers, dead. So as Dayu prepares to kill, excuse my vocabulary. As Dayu prepares to destroy the Pink Ranger, as she's about to do so, the Red Ranger's lion Origami flies in and knocks everybody out and saves her. Red Ranger, how are you alive? Well, they explain that they use their symbol power to create doubles of themselves. And that's who blew up in the building. And how did they know about this? Because the real bride that Dayu had kidnapped was actually Emily, who comes slicing out a little white thing that she had all the brides captured in. And you know, as Emily was explaining all of this to Dayu, she sounded incredibly badass. Like the whole slicing out her way out, and then when she was talking to her, her voice was it just sounded so badass. And it's like, how come you don't normally talk like this? Because the actress cannot pull off that cutesy, oh, everybody, let's have a good time. It sounds horrible. But while she was talking like this, she sounded awesome. They need her to be more like this at all times. And back to the whole Rangers blowing up and dynamite thing. Honestly, I would have a hard time believing that dynamite could even destroy the Power Rangers. Because dynamite is a man-made weapon, and the Rangers, well, they're freaking Rangers. So, unless of course it's demon dynamite. My God. Alright, so the Rangers are back at full power. They take the fight outside. They do a little roll call. Then they just start fighting. They knocking Mooga teeth out. And they just getting it. And the action was really good in this episode. I really enjoyed it a lot. And it wasn't played with bad ADR like the last two episodes were, where they had the Rangers slashing into a monster over and over again. But the monsters are speaking as if they're not even being hit. Whatever. Anyway, good action in this episode. And Dayu just tore through the Pink and Blue Rangers. She rocked it. I love that fight in Shinkenger, and I loved it here. You know that scene where she just super speeds through them, and then she just poses, and they just spark the freak up. I love that scene. That is awesome. And also, like, you know, Dayu's like swordsmanship. I love it when, I love action scenes like that where they use swordsmanship, like they're holding it like this. And just, I love that. So that's a bunch of pluses. So the Rangers pull out the little cannon thing to finish off Dayu. And Rangers, please stop talking like this when you're loading your disc in the cannon. Please stop. Before the energy beam could reach Dayu, Decker, the curse warrior, shows up and he slices through the beam. Ooh. And then he says something about his sword wants to fight the Red Ranger, some blah blah. Then he manhandles Dayu out of the fight, and he summons giant Moogers to deal with the Rangers. Now this is one of the things that I really liked about Shinkenger, that they had giant foot soldier fights, and it was awesome in Power Rangers too. So yes, bunch of awesomeness in a samurai episode. Who would have thunk it? So yeah, Rangers save the day. The Rangers go get cupcakes and stuff. Eminem said a horrible line. Rangers together, cupcakes are ours, or some shit. So yeah, far from perfect, but it was a really good episode. Very entertaining, and I'm going to go ahead and give it a 4 out of 5. It's probably really a high 3 out of 5, but you know what, 4 out of 5. I'm going to be nice. Give it that. And looking forward to the next Samurai episode. Keep up the good work, please. One more thing that I forgot to mention. Why is Bo dressing up like a punk? I mean, he just looks ridiculous. He's too old for this. Not just the actor, the character. He's too old for this. Folks, stop dressing up like a punk in high school, in Mighty Morphin. Just stop.